What's up, everybody? Liv here. Welcome back to the channel and thank you for watching. So listen, it's been a minute since I've been on camera, so I'm going to try to be short and concise. So you guys know I always have my notes here to help me so I don't go off on tangents. But before we get into it, I would like to thank CZ for sponsoring this video. You guys know a while back they asked me to be a part of their ambassador program, and I did a few videos and I have 2 more videos to go, and I will be done with the program. So I have 5 firearms on the table, and 2 of them they sent over to the channel. The others I bought with my hard-earned cash prior to the program, since I've been a fan of CZ for many years now. But anyway, thank you, CZ, for all that you guys have done for me. And everybody else, I appreciate you for watching. Please like and share if you care, and please go ahead and subscribe. All right, so, woo, had to get all that out. All right, so we're gonna get into this video today, and this video is mainly targeted toward beginners, okay? So if you are an expert shooter, then this don't apply to you, but you might want to stay and watch to keep us company, okay? So today I'm asking, can I use a CZ75 firearm for competition shooting, or do I really need to go buy a competition gun from the CZ lineup? Okay, now personally, in short, yes, I can use the CZ75, and this is BD, so this is the decocker, okay, for competition shooting. I don't necessarily need to buy a competition firearm, but there are some pros to obviously purchasing a competition firearm because it's mainly directed and designed for competition shooting. But I can get away with this if I am a beginner. So some of the other firearms that I'm going to be showcasing is the CZ75 SPO1 Shadow, okay, the Shadow 2 Orange, which is right here. As you can see, all these firearms are unloaded. The Shadow 2, all right, and the CZ P10F Comp. All right, so a lot of firearms, but I'm going to try to make this video concise. All right, so short answer, yes, you can use the CZ75 model as a competition firearm if you are a beginner. Listen, CZ has sold about 1 million of these, okay? It's their flagship model for a reason. All of these other firearms are built off of this design, okay? It's accurate. It has a low bore access, okay? It's very ergonomic. In fact, firearms that have been made after this design have all taken a liking to this design, has all been designed off this model, off this blueprint. So CZ is like the foundation of great ergonomics, next to the 1911, of course. But, ooh, just look at that. It points naturally. I mean, it's comfortable, it's accurate. The steel frame is heavier, so that aids in accuracy. It aids in being able to hold it and control that soft felt recoil. I mean, it's a really nice starter gun for a beginner, okay? It's affordable as well. When you start getting into the Shadow 2s, all right, you getting up into the thousands. Even the SPO1 Shadow, this is like custom. This is really not off the assembly line. This is custom. So again, looking at $1,000+ you get into the orange. I mean, it gets up there. Now, granted, these all come with better triggers, usually a longer barrel, which helps with the accuracy and gives you a longer sight radius. Comes with better sights. So we're going to get into why this model might hold you back. But for the most part, I mean, it's solid. The other thing that I like about it is that it's hammer fire. Now, I said in a previous video that if I were shooting competition, I preferably would like to have a double action, single action firearm, okay? Now, striker firearms do the job too, don't get me wrong, but it's something about being able to control that trigger in double action and single action and really feel that light trigger in the single action mode, okay? So, again, this is unloaded. So, double action. Now, I've had this gun for maybe 2-3 years now. I think 3 years. I think I have a spring kit in here from another company. I can't remember, but I think I do. But either way, double action it's good. It's fine. It's not a lot of stacking. It's fine. But when you get into single action, here, okay, little take up. All right, it's really nice. All right, now there are some things that are going to hold you back, if I'm being honest. First things first are the sights. Now, I think factory sights, they come with like 3-dot sights. I didn't like them, which is why I sent this into a company and got the I think these are Dawson Precisions, which has a blacked out rear, like a serrated rear. Every time I show you this, it never really pops up. But it's like a serrated rear, and then you can see in the front the fiber optic front sight. Now, when you look at all the other firearms, they all have a fiber optic front sight. All of them do. And that's because they're just very accurate when it comes to competition, okay? That blacked out rear fiber optic front sight works wonders. Now, one of the other things that's going to hold you back is the heavier trigger on here. When you get into these higher end firearms, the single action is superb. You're looking at 1 pound, 2 pound pulls. Again, in this, I believe I do have a trigger kit, but when you look at the single action is nice. Don't get me wrong. It's nicer than it is when you get it stock because of the kit, but that's nice, okay? However, when you get into something like the Shadow 2, all right, that single action trigger, very nice, all right? You get into something like the Shadow 2 Orange, forget about it. Here we go. You almost don't even feel it, okay? But you also paying for that, okay? So, yeah, once you get into the higher price firearms, you're gonna notice the difference in the heavier trigger that's on the 75. And the BD means it has a decocker. I probably should have said that a while ago. Let me show you. Okay, that's the decocker right there. Okay. All right, shorter sight radius. Once you start comparing it again to the orange, let me see, I can't even, this is probably not the best way to show you, but once you start comparing it to like the orange, all right, or maybe even the Shadow 2, the barrels are going to be a little longer, okay? A little longer barrel, it's going to give you more sight radius, which means it's going to aid in accuracy, okay? But again, you're also paying for that. Next, a lot of competition firearms now are optic ready, okay? So when you go and start getting these flagship models, they're not optic ready. Like, people weren't really using optics during that time. So you're just going to have your iron sights, okay? And you have, I think this is like, this might be a little less than a 5-inch barrel. I think it's like maybe 4.7 or something like that, 4.5. I can't remember offhand. I apologize about that, but you could do your own research. But anyway, it's not optic ready. When you get into these other firearms, like, well, I'm not going to show you this one, but like the Shadow 2, it doesn't have this is not the optic version, but there's an Optic Ready version. When you get into the CZ-P10F, it comes Optic Ready, okay? So when you're shooting competition, a lot of the firearms that you purchase, they're already going to be Optic Ready. So out the gate, you're going to have to get a lot of practice on your base and stock model using your iron sights, and then obviously in that time you'll become really good, and maybe you want to kind of like step up to the optics version, I guess, or get into shooting competition using your optic. You can definitely do that as well, but in the meantime, in between time, you're going to have to really practice with your iron sights and get really good at that. Next, I believe the CZ-75 has lower capacity. I believe it's 17 plus 1. I'm in a restricted state, so I can only have 10. But I believe in free states, I believe it's 17 plus 1. Whereas you start looking at some of the other competition, you start having like 18 plus 1. 19 plus 1, even 20. So again, you might look at it, okay, that's only 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4 rounds more. But in a competition setting, that extra capacity is a great deal, okay? Because there's less opportunity for you to have to change and reload your mags, and I mean, you're saving time. So yes, lower capacity when you get into the basic CZ-75, but when you get into the other models, you'll have higher capacity magazines. So my final thoughts. The CZ-75 is a great contender, okay, for beginners. Now, of course, if you are more advanced, then you're probably going to want to shoot the options I have over here. But for the basic beginner, the CZ-75 platform is just right. Okay, you can build up your skill level, you can learn how to shoot with irons, you can later on go to an optic, and it's just an all-around great gun. It has great ergonomics, low bore axis, okay? The slide rides inside the frame, and so you're able to be more accurate with follow-up shots. Like, you're just gonna really like the design and the overall way that this firearm shoots. Now, if you decide to shoot this for competition, but you also want to keep it as your home defense firearm, I think that's a great idea, because if you're keeping it for home defense, then perhaps you're going to be shooting it more, you're going to be bringing it to the range more, you're going to have it as a dual purpose firearm. And so because of that, you're going to become more proficient with it, which is going to aid in your competition settings. So listen, do I think you absolutely 100% need to buy a competition firearm in order to shoot competition? Absolutely not. I believe you can use the CZ-75 flagship model and have great success as a beginner in competition shooting. But I will say, as you begin to advance, as you begin to increase your skill level, you will see that this will probably start to limit itself, and you will need to up the ante and get other options that will give you a greater chance of being successful. It is not mandatory, but it would definitely enhance your skill level. So listen, take that for what it's worth. You let me know if I'm too far off, or maybe I hit something on the head and it resonated with you. You guys let me know. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you're doing well, treating one another with kindness, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks. Peace.